Illő tisztelettel köszöntök mindenkit. Lukovics Miklós a nevem. Jonas, welcome to the SzeBIT. It's a great pleasure that you are here and you accepted our invitation. My first question is about communication. How did you communicate with your family members as you settled to Spain 70 years ago? How often could you communicate with them? What kind of equipment did you use? And how do you communicate with them nowadays? And how often?
How did I communicate? It was a long time ago. I was 20 years old. I moved from Sweden. I am from Sweden. And I moved to Spain when I was 20 years old. And in that moment, we only had, I remember I had this Nokia mobile, 6110, or I don't know what's the name of it. There was no FaceTime, no WhatsApp. Yes, we had internet, but it was this also, I think this classic, you know, this internet. So it was a little bit slow, but I communicate with a mobile and also, how do you say, a phone home. But the mobile was really expensive, I remember. It was really, really expensive. So I didn't call so much, but I called most on the phone that I had home. And try to say, okay, Friday at 6 o'clock I will call you, I said to my mom. Okay, she said, okay, no problem. 6 o'clock I will be home, and we spoke with each other. Of course, I used also letters. I sent some letters, Christmas letters, of course, home to my family and some friends. I sent photos and letters by the post. It took... I remember you go and buy the stamp, blah, 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 and it took for 1 week, and if you was a little bit late, you missed the letters in Christmas, and you went home, and the letters didn't arrive, so it was quite fun many times, but yes, of course, the letters and everything, I sent photos, yeah.
And what kind of communication equipments do you use nowadays, and how often can you communicate with your family in Sweden and in Spain?
Yeah, nowadays you have a lot. Of course, like everybody else, Viber and WhatsApp, that's the most common, and the internet is almost, you pay one special price and you can use it a lot, and these megas and whatever you have. It's easy. Now it's really easy, and even my grandmother had a computer and WhatsApp and everything, so it's much easier to communicate.
A következő téma, amiről beszélni fogunk, az a kézilabdának az informatikai támogatottsága. A kérdés úgy fog szólni, hogy hogyan segítette akkoriban a kézilabdát az informatika, azaz hogyan elemezték az edzők, és hogyan gyűjtöttek adatot az edzők a játékosok fizikai teljesítményéről, illetőleg hogyan elemezték az ellenfél csapatot.
It wasn't so much analyzing. It was one coach who said, you need to do this, 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 and we did it. It was no analyzing. We didn't use any programs, internet, nothing. If you compare to today, you have everything. You can check the diet and how much you need, vitamins you need, how much water you need, and then you go to the court and you can analyze everything on the handball court. You have special programs with figures and everything that you can almost do everything nowadays. If you want to see backwards, upwards, down, left, right, it's a lot of program. This thing has gone really big, really fast, I think, and it's surprising what kind of things you can do nowadays. And imagine in 20 years more, what will it be? It will be programs where you can just move your hands and show everything. Now you chose it on the screen. Maybe it will be 4D, 5D, I don't know, but it's amazing. It has gone from nothing to a lot of things. You can, as I said, control your diet, your physical health, and everything. I remember, for example, the first year that we recorded the game when we played on VHS. When you wanted to prepare the game, for example, against an opponent, and you had 1 week, you need to record the game, and then you need to send the VHS on post to the other club. For example, if we wanted to play against, I was in Spain and we wanted to play against one French team, then this French team need to send the VHS to us. We need to take it up. So it was a, and then many times this pack is lost and you didn't get the VHS, and it was a lot of problems. Nowadays, you record the game, you put it to a server, and wherever you are in the world, you can download it in 5 minutes.
Jonas, let's go to the future. What do you think, or what can you imagine, or what is your fantasy? Let's do some sci-fi or something like that. How could help IT the work of the handball players, the trainers, or maybe the referees in the future?
That's a good question. But I think that we have started a little bit this year. For example, if you can, it doesn't matter if it's handball, football, or basketball. I think many sports now use the television, because the referee, for example, they need more help. In many sports, you have 1, 2, or 3 referees. But nowadays, the football, for example, they have put 2 more referees, and they also have 1 referees up. So if they're not sure if it's goal, stop the game, go and see on the television, and you can see exactly if it's inside or outside the ball. I think these things is really good, because many times before it was goal, but the referee didn't see it, or it goes too fast, and they didn't blow goal. So this is one thing that I personally really like with all kind of sports. It's more fair, I think, more fair. Also, if somebody hits somebody or makes some technical foul or something that it's not fair play, stop, 2 minutes, red card or whatever, and continue. Okay. I know that it will be a lot of stops, and maybe it's not so nice. The audience want to see the game, play quick, blah blah blah. But these things, I think, is necessary. For example, if you look at the coaches, you can see now that in handball, for example, we start. I know that in an NFL, in American football, and these kind of things, they had it for many years. But now in handball, we start with this radio here in the air. You have some guy who's looking up and can see much better the field and what is good, what is bad, and he can have that information directly to his ear. So he don't need to take a timeout, or he don't need to wait to the halftime. He can have it in 1 second, the information, and that's, for example, really good for the coaches. And if you look at the players, the last thing, if you now the referees and the coaches, the players, for example, we also come into the halftime after 30 minutes of playing. Come in, you have television, you have the statics, everything there. The one coach have cut everything. Okay, you need to do this. You look at the television, you see exactly what you need to do. So the technology goes forward, and it's really interesting what it will be in for example, 15 or 20 years. But it's amazing. It's really nice, and you can also see around here that it's amazing what is happening, and in the way of sport and handball in this moment is quite small sport, but there is a lot of things. And for example, we start now in the team with to see how much you run, how much you jump. If you jump on your left, you jump on your right. We have these special sensors in the sport hall, and you have a chip on you when you train, and you can see how much you run in the training. So there is nobody who can cheat, because the coach will see after how much you run in the training and everything. So you can do a lot of things. Of course, many of the things is expensive still, but it's like always. It's in the beginning it's expensive, and then it comes more programs and the prices go down. But it's good.
I told the audience that you are always careful with the young players, and you like to help them. And you have your own research concerning the behavior of the young players. Did you find any difference in the behavior of the Spanish, the Swedish, and the Hungarian young players, or did you find any differences between in space and in time?
I think that in general, the young generation who is coming now, it's more difficult than when I was young, because when I was young, as I said, there was no internet. Yes, you had there was no PlayStation, there was no mobiles. It was easier to concentrate on handball. Now you have a lot of things around you: internet, phones, PlayStation, a lot of things that is disturbing. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's more things to concentrate, or not concentrate, but to focus on. And you have the school also, so it's not easy. When I was young, I trained before the school, and nowadays, yes, somebody trained before the school, but I trained every day before the school. If the school started 8, I was 6:30 in the gym or in the sport hall and train. That's what. But now you have, I want to see a movie in the evening, and then I go to sleep at 1, and then I sleep a little bit more, and then I have the phone, and then I will play PlayStation, and then I will play internet with my friends. So there is more things now, and I think it's more difficult to concentrate on that thing. But if you want to success in the sport world, you need to work much harder than the young generation right now.
Utolsó kérdés, a gyerekek internet és okos eszköz használata.
I have 2 children. The smallest one will be 3 and the other one is 6. And of course, when I was a little bit younger, I didn't have children. I always said, I will never give the iPad to the children. But of course, now when you have 2 children, you know how it is. And of course, sometimes you give the iPad, you give the computer, they look at the television, of course. But I think the thing is what they do in the iPad also. They can do good things and they can play games all the time. But there is a lot of good things on the internet and on the iPad. You can develop the children with a lot of things to read, to count, whatever. So there is a lot of good things. So of course I give the iPad.
Ennyi volt akkor a Jonas Källmannal való beszélgetés. Thank you so much, Jonas. And enjoy the SzeBIT, and visit all the equipments which can be tried out, and also look at the wonderful sports car in the front of the entrance.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope that everybody understands what I said more or less. Yeah, thank you.